Okay, we're going to look at some of those arithmetic methods that I just introduced. And if you look at table 5.5, it has a full list of all the arithmetic methods that are available to us. So let's take df1 and df2. Okay, so these are the two data frames that we are looking at. So we can do df1 times df2. Okay, so that will match up the same way like what the addition. Okay, value coming from df1 or value coming from df2. If either one is NaN, then you'll get NaN. If both are numbers, then it will be multiplied. And again, you have a corresponding method which is df1. Okay, so now you can have a fill value equal to 1, say. So that means if either one is a value, then it will be multiplied by 1. Okay, and again, those three where both are NaN come out to be NaN. Okay, now we are going to do some more arithmetic and a counterpart called OR method. And for that to work properly, I'm going to set up, or to understand it properly, okay, we want to get rid of all the NaNs and see what's exactly happening. So I'm going to have the exact same index labels and exact same column labels, two different data frames, and then see how these methods work. So I'm going to set up two different data frames. Okay, so now I'm going to also introduce one little method from random. It is called seed. Okay. Now when you use random seed, what will happen, and specify a particular value, then it becomes repeatable. So all of us will get the same set of random numbers. If you don't have that, then the seed is taken from the system time, which will be different for all of us, and we end up having different numbers. So for the purpose of what we call repeatability, we will set the seed to 0. And then let's say the first data frame is from random rand_int. Okay, so random integer from 2 to 5, and we can specify the shape here as the tuple. So a 3 by 3 random integers. Okay, and then let's specify the columns. We want the columns to be the list of B, C, D, and we want index to be Ohio, Texas, and Colorado. Okay, let's make sure that this works. Okay. Now we'll do a second one, df2, and let's give the integer range 5 to 8, and exact same size, same row index labels, same column index labels. Okay, so let's do a df1 and df2. So now we have two randomly generated data frames. Okay, you should have the same numbers. We start with seed equal to 0. Okay, so now say if we already looked at multiplication method, right? So this means you'll take each number from df1 and multiply with each number in df2. Okay. Then there is a corresponding, for each of those methods there is okay. So here for each of these methods there is a counterpart which is the same method name but starts with an R. So like df1 dot R mul df2. Now what this will do is, okay, the first one takes each element from df1 and multiplies it with the corresponding element in df2. Now the R is reverse. R goes from df2, it takes each element from df2 and does this operation with the corresponding element in df1, which of course in multiplication is the same thing. Doesn't matter whether you multiply A times B is same as B times A. So you're going to get the same answer either way, okay, which is the same. But what about df1 div df2? So now you're taking each element in df1 and dividing by the element in df2. If you did df1 or div df2, it's not going to be the same because it's going to be the reverse. And if you do df1 dot or, okay, if you do div 1, okay, so you're going to take each df1 divide by 1, okay, which does nothing. So if you do R div and 1, so it will take 1 and divide 1 by each element. So this is the reciprocal of df1. Okay. Now there is another one called POW, which is power. Okay. So if you say 2, for example, it will square each number. Okay. If you do 2.5, so it will raise each number to the power 2.5. Now if you did this, or POW 2.5, then it is 2.5 that will be raised to the power of the elements that you see in df1. Okay. Now we can give a list to be used for the power. So if you did df1 dot power, okay, then if you gave a list, say 2, 3, 4, then let's see, compare df1 with this. So it uses 2 for this. So 2 squared, 3 squared and 2 squared. Then 3 for this column, 3 cubed and 4 cubed, and then 2 to the power of 4, 4 to the power of 4, and 2 to the power of 4. And this works for R power as well. So df1 R power 234 will then take 2 and raise it by these powers. Okay. Take 3 and raise it to these powers. And take 4 and raise it to these powers.